Greetings to the world, blessings again. Thanks for being here again, man. Thanks for being here again, welcome back to the Morning Insider and Nicardo Media House. The first day out of the week, you will say the first business day of the week, Monday. Happy Monday to each and every one. Shout out to everybody wherever you're watching this video at this moment. Is either you commuting to work or you at work at this moment. Shout out wherever you are. Are you just waking up, checking out what is going on YouTube, seeing Nicardo Media House Channel, bringing you the Morning Insider, blessings. But look, it is the first weekend after, you will say, it was a busy weekend last weekend, the last 6-7 days of international football. You know what happened over the last, you will say, probably the last 10 days. The reggaeboyz 2 from 2. Yes, people, 2 from 2. Big weekend of sports last week for the Jamaica national team. It seems like we almost there, but not yet. The journey will continue, next month coming October. But international players, resume. International players return back to their club football, resume over the weekend as well. It was a very quiet show for reggaeboyz players, but not so for these two young strikers here. One, is a youth reggaeboy player, and one is a senior men's national player as well. Just made his debut a couple of months ago in the Unity Cup. Rumarn Burrell got his first goal for Queen's Park Rangers in the AFL Championship. And also young Seymour Reid, young Seymour Reid for NYFC, the youngest and the baddest. Young Seymour Reid, scored, his first professional goal for NYFC, in the MLS at an iconic venue at Soldier Field in Chicago as well. So we have to big up, young Seymour Reid for making the headlines over the weekend as well. It is the youngest in the club history. You understand? It's coming from the academy. Look, I'm happy. I'm happy for Seymour Reid. I'm so happy that a player like that, can get on the top of something where, he got his first goal. And, Seymour Reid actually said his pieces, after the game. The coach as well have said his pieces after the game as well, and young Seymour Reid. And look, this is what, the young reggaeboy player have to say around his first goal for NYFC in the MLS. And I'm going to say it again. Seymour Reid is the youngest goal scorer in NYFC club history. And it only set by a teammate a few months back. I think he's currently 18 at this moment. His name is John Shore. He scored on July the 25th versus FC Dallas. So happy for Seymour Reid. But listen to what the young reggaeboy player have to say around his first goal for NYFC, and his coach have said a pieces on young Seymour Reid as well.
Hey Seymour, it's Mike Ander from Blue City Radio. I don't know this 100%. I was trying to look at it beforehand. You might be the youngest player to score for NYCFC. Maybe Esteban can clarify that.
That's correct.
If so, how do you feel being part of the history?
It's an amazing feeling. At 17, this is every kid's dream. Scoring their first goal. Making history is just an amazing feeling. Couldn't ask for better. It's just amazing. Yeah.
We'll go with Oliver.
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue. Congratulations on the win and congratulations on the goal. I'm wondering if you could speak to what it's like to work with Pascal Janssen. He seems to really have a lot of faith in you. We've seen a lot of looks at you. It tends to be in the latter part of games, but still you're traveling with the team, you're making appearances. Can you tell us about your relationship with Pascal and the belief that he has in you?
Ever since preseason, he seeing something in me. He's always giving me feedback, what I can improve on. He's always there, just supporting me. He believes a lot in me, and the relationship it's a great relationship. He talks to me a lot, helped me throughout a lot. So yeah, it's a great relationship.
Michael Allen.
Seymour, congratulations on your goal tonight. Michael Allen from Pro Soccer and Blue City Radio. Just wanted to say, after you scored the goal, it seemed to like you got really actively involved in the game, and you had a little chance there at the end there with the combination with Maxi. Did scoring that goal take some pressure off of you somehow as a player, as emotionally or psychologically, just getting that result for the coach and the team?
Yeah, that first goal gave me some confidence. You could see I just wanted more. And I could just see that first goal it felt good. Made me want to keep going. Yeah.
Christian?
Hi, Seymour. Congratulations on the goal. You've scored quite a few for NYCFC2 this year. I think you've hit 11. How was that time with NYCFC2 and working with the team there helped prepare you for this opportunity with the first team?
Playing games for the tools is important. I get a lot of feedback, what I could do better here and there. It helps build my confidence, scoring a lot of goals help me to play better and get better feedback off the pitch and on the pitch. Yeah.
Christian, you have another one?
I do, yeah. You are, in fact, NYCFC's youngest goal scorer in history. I don't know if you're aware, you took the record off Johnny Shaw. I don't know if you two have had a bit of a joke about that afterwards.
Yeah. We just talked about it, he's happy for me, yeah.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Church and Stream Punk Soccer.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Good, sir. Congratulations on the win tonight. Obviously, starting off this 3 matches in a positive way. Talk a little bit about Seymour Reid, the first goal that he had. What did you say to him specifically after that? Thanks.
After the goal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, congratulations, obviously. He's been working hard to get this moment. He had a few subs earlier in the season, did a very good job then. And now the first touch, the communication in the moment with Agu was spectacular, and keeping his calm and composure to finish off his first goal in the MLS. Very proud of the kid.
Look, I'm going to say this. I talk about Seymour Reid in a few months back when he made that. I think it was a debut. Yeah, I think it was a debut he made. I think it was in Ohio versus Columbus. He came on in that game and he made his debut in MLS. But the restriction of young player contract in MLS, it's not going to allow you to get enough appearances on the pitch and to get the start that he want at the time. But again, the club ran into some difficulties, some injuries, issues at the club, in the attacking third, and they brought him in. But someone that have scored, a plethora of goal, for the NYFC 2 team in the academy, someone that, coming from the Seda, I think it's Seda Grove, academy as well. So shout out to Seymour Reid. But again, at age 17, at age 17, I said this a few months ago. The Reggae Boy, the recruiters, the coaching staff should be paying keen attention to this talent. We saw this talent, I think it was at the U14. I think it was the U14 in the CFU Championship, where I think Coach Boy appeared, where they won that tournament as well. That's when I first really started to paying keen attention to Seymour Reid. But me personally, I am an NYFC fan, someone that first time coming to the US, I live like a stone throw away from the Yankee Stadium. So I was a season ticket holder for a few seasons back, back when David Villa, was wearing that iconic number 7 shirt. Andres Pirlo came to the door, the Frank Lampard, so you name it. And also Patrick Vieira at the end. But again, Seymour Reid, I'm going to say this, man. The Reggae Boys coaching staff should be paying keen attention. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're 15, 16, 17, 18. Once you're good enough, you are old enough to get on that football pitch. Once you're good enough, that means you are old enough to get on that football pitch. Remember, Whisper got his goal. I think he was around 17. One of the youngest in Gold Cup history to score a goal in that tournament. So you go back, you can look at the likes of Kylian Mbappe, what he did in that iconic final versus Croatia. Look at what he did to Argentina in that semi-final as well. So, and it even goes back to when I think it was in the late 90s, Michael Owen, is coming through for Liverpool and England at that moment. The first teenager, even up to today, hold that record of what the only teenager to get, a goal scoring. I think it was back to back. Yeah, I think Michael Owen got the leading goal scorer back to back in the Premier League in the late 90s as well, and go on to win the Ballon d'Or a few years after that. So again, went to the World Cup with England at a very young age. His pace was frightening, but Seymour Reid, his body, look at his stature, the status of his body. It's a very built body. He's quick. Look at he possesses himself. Playing for NYFC. Look at how he's coming up against some bigger pros in the game in MLS as well. So it shows that he can hold his own in that league as well. But I'm going to say it, if he's old enough, if he's good enough to get into the national team, which I'm not saying he should get pick like immediately. I'm not saying that he should get picked immediately, but I'm just saying like pay a key attention to what Seymour Reid is doing and the development of that player. I don't really want to hear people saying he needs to develop more. Back when Michael Owen got called up for the Three Lions, it wasn't the finished product. Whisper when he scored that goal and Trinidad and Tobago in the Gold Cup, that wasn't the finishing product. That wasn't the finishing product. These young players, they will never be the finished product at their age at this moment. There's always growth. There's always growth in a player career. So I don't think a player can really be that finishing product until he hang up his boots and call it quits on his career. That's when he's a finished product. You understand? So that's how I look at it as a former player. But again, player like Seymour Reid, that around 17 years old, the Jamaican national team, the federation, JFF, it's time now we should be looking around the corner and try to build up a very good youth setup. When you look at Europe, the European teams, they're playing youth 17, youth 19, youth 20, and at 23. It doesn't matter what it is, but time and time we see in its international games, the youth reggae teams, have been inactive. They are not active enough. It's all about if a tournament is currently playing at this moment, then that team, will start to, go in training camp for a couple of weeks, then go into that tournament and start to kick off things. But we want to see, a U17, a U19, a U20, in the youth ranks, playing friendlies in international windows as well. That will give these youngsters a lot more exposure, a lot more time together, playing international friendlies against other country, that experience, and these things can help, a young Seymour Reid at that age. You understand? If he's not going to get called up for the senior team, then he will be getting called up for the youth team as well. So shout out to what Seymour Reid have done, I've done for NYFC, beating Chicago. I think it was 3-1 on the day, and it's good to be learning his craft. It's good to be learning his craft from another CONCACAF top striker. I think he's probably one of the best striker right now in this region, playing in this region. Alonso Martinez, the Costa Rican, playing for Los Ticos, top striker. I think he scored probably 15 goals already for NYFC, being leading goal scorer coming over from Lommel in the Belgian Pro League. So he's a top player that Seymour Reid is learning from day in and day out, on the training pitch, for NYFC. And look, he always been around the setup. If he's not going to be in the squad, he always travel with the team and stuff like that. So they believe in him. The coach said he's working hard, he's working to get to the top, and that's what you want to hear from a coach coming, from a young player that is continuing to doing that hard work and want to be on top. But again, shout out to young Seymour Reid, for scoring his first MLS goal for NYFC versus Chicago at Soldier Field. But again, talking about, first goal, Rumarn Burrell, over the weekend as well, scoring at another, another reggae boy player scoring at an iconic venue. It's not in England, but it is in Wales, versus the powerhouse team owned by the Hollywood owners. You understand? Wrexham at the race course, got that goal, the icing on the cake. And look, that's the best way for me. That's the best way for me, for Rumarn Burrell to answer the critics of not getting called up, of putting on standby by Steve McLaren, having players in around that camp who was inactive at the time, not getting the minutes, was out of touch, is not informed. But this is the best way for Rumarn Burrell to answer the critics of why was he not in the past selection for the national team for the Bermuda and Trinidad and Tobago game. So Rumarn Burrell got his first goal in the championship for Queen's Park Rangers, his first for the club, and this is what the Reggae Boy striker have to say around his first goal scoring at Wrexham at the racecourse ground.
Rumarn, first away win of the season, your first 2 QPR goals, how good does that feel?
I'm over the moon. It was a great game, the boys played well, everything was kind of working today. So it's just a great feeling.
You didn't know much about your first goal, but a great finish for the second, you must be pleased.
Yeah, no, the second goal was really great. I hope the first goal was class as mine, so nice brace.
Yeah, so Rumarn Burrell, look, that's type of Rumarn Burrell goals. You understand? A player that frightening, lightning, quick. Look at the chance that he missed. You understand? So this is a player thing. Look, for me, I was a little bit surprised when I heard that Burrell was on standby. Like, really? This was a player that I think Burrell scored. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think he got like double-digit score for Burton and Albion in the League One campaign last season. Got his big money move to Queen's Park Rangers. You understand? Remember, this was a team that got spanked by Coventry, Frank Lampard, a few weeks ago before the international window. Yeah, I think it was right before the international window, got 7-1. You understand? And they bounced back, and Rumarn Burrell, Queen's Park Rangers, taking their time to finding their feet again, in the championship. Cifuentes, it's going to take time for him to, get his tactics, what he wants from the team, over in such a short period of time. So the longer the season stretched out, I think Queen's Park Rangers should get better. But Burrell, a striker, is at the hem. Another striker that they bought from a League One team, Richard Coney, scored in that game as well on Saturday. And guess what? This is his 3rd consecutive games that he scored in. So he started with Rumarn Burrell. He played in that number 10 position because they're one of their marquee player, Chair, is out injured. Their most creative, their talisman, is out injured. So the coach decided to go with 2 striker, played Richard Coney in the number 10 position and play Rumarn Burrell as the 9, and it did work. Both players got on the score sheet, but it was important for Burrell to take that opportunity as well to get in another start. And Coney, who is scoring in his 3rd consecutive games, scoring in the last 3 games, so 3 from 3 in the last 3 for Richard Coney. So it's important for Burrell to get on the score sheet, to give him that competition, give him the coach that headache of, look, me, Rumarn Burrell, need to be getting the start. So it's always good for for competition, in the number 9 position. So big up to Rumarn Burrell, got his goal, and it was a famous goal. You will remember this day as long as you live, scoring versus Wrexham at the racecourse in Wales. So big up to each and everyone. Discipline yourself. Thanks for passing through again. Remember, on your way out, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Ciao, ciao, people. Salute. Out. See you.